Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Canio and I am the Executive Director of Four Chambers South. We are elated to be here today with our branches partner, Sarah, with the Director of Development, and we're so excited to see her. We'll get to know her.
Thank you so much for having me, Melissa. Excited to be here.
I love that I get to see a new face in branches. I know I've seen a lot of who organizes the events and things like that, but it seems like you're more behind the scenes from what we talked about before. So I kind of wanted to get to know you, where you grew up. Are you from Miami? Are you from a different area? What does it look like for you?
So I'm actually from Orlando originally, but my dad lives in Sunny Isles, so it's been interesting. But I moved down here about 4 years ago.
Okay. What made you do the shift?
So my fiance is a lawyer, and he went to law school in D.C. I worked in D.C., but then during COVID, we decided we wanted to come down, give Miami a try. So we moved down here, and I got to know Branches. I interviewed at Branches actually during their summer shade camp, and I had a remote job before. And oh my gosh, when I was there with the kids on site, I was like, I have to be here. I would love to work here. So sometimes I just pinch myself that I get to be a part of such a great community. And Miami's a huge part of that too.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Did you know that you always wanted to work with kids, or were you that kid when you grew up saying that I wanted to be a part of something like this?
I think I always knew I wanted to be a part of something that supported families and was very community oriented. I just have found it contagious, and I know it's been a part of my own personal success, just having a community of people that support you and are there for you, can give you advice, all that kind of stuff.
Is that something that even with your family has been extra supportive on, or have they been a part of the nonprofit sector as well? How did you kind of dabble into that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So both my parents are actually from Ireland, so I'm technically a first generation. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need to go on to that.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But I think I was always interested in the fact that I was a first generation American, so we had no family here. It was just my mom and dad. And then they got divorced. So I think definitely having family friends, teachers, mentors kind of help explain the process of going to college. What does that look like? That was a huge part of my own personal story. And so I've definitely seen for especially first generation to college students how big it is to have that additional help and support.
Okay, but wait, we need to touch on Ireland for a second. How did you, I guess, where did that transition come from? What made you kind of want to go into the States? I feel like United States always comes with an extra because there's 50 states, but there's actually way more countries in the world. So how does that correlate to the lifestyle that you wanted for yourself?
Yeah, so my parents, they had like the very traditional American dream kind of story. They came over in their late 20s to New York and just wanted to build a better life for themselves. And there was so much opportunity there. My mom's a nurse, so there was a really big need for nurses in New York at the time. So I think that's where a lot of it stemmed from. And it really was huge for my brother and I to have just so many opportunities with education and just really just living the American dream. And we've loved Florida too. So we moved down. My parents moved down and had my brother and I here in Orlando. So we grew up there and just loved the Sunshine State.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
But I feel like your love for wanting to help people might have come from your mom because she's been a nurse all her life.
Oh, for sure. For sure. My mom is definitely my biggest role model. I have so much love and respect for her. And I think she was just a really big community builder too. So she always made sure that our house was full of people. She welcomes anybody and everybody over for Christmas. So I think that's also why I've loved Branches. It's just this big kind of open arms organization that says anybody who wants to be a part of this, come in, join us. And you have a great support of people who just love you and are there. And there's a lot of hope, I think, within a community like that.
Yeah, I know. I got to experience your gala, and I didn't realize there were so many people from just so many backgrounds and where they came from. They brought their significant others, and I think I read it was more than 500 people that attended.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
not where we came from originally. It's grown a lot, but I think that's a testament to just so many people who have been a part of this and have continued to grow it. But we're definitely a grassroots, very local organization.
but I know there's a lot of growth coming up, so I wanted to make sure there was some highlight in that aspect. I know you've been located in South Miami for some time, so kind of give us a glimpse of what the next steps are for what the projects of growth are for Branches.
Yeah, great question. So we are so excited, but we've been in the South Miami community for years now. But over the last few years, we've been in a temporary location at the Elks Lodge. They've been an amazing partner for us and really stepped in during COVID so that we could have a space to do our after-school programming for children and youth. And over the last few years now, basically since 2020, Related Urban is a phenomenal partner of ours, and they've built a brand new building called Somi Park, just a few blocks away from here, actually, on Southwest 68th Street. So it's going to be a new building. We're going to go in, Branches is going to go in on the bottom floor, and then it's mixed use apartments above it. So we'll be able to serve that whole community there, serve more children and families. So we are just thrilled and so grateful to Related Urban and the city of South Miami and Miami-Dade County, because it took a lot of people and partners and time and patience and effort to make this dream a reality. So we're excited about it.
Do you have a time frame of when you're actually moving in?
We're hoping towards the end of this year. So the end of this year, early next year. So we're really excited. We can't wait to pack our bags and get in there.
That's amazing that you get to be part of it all. And there's just so much to look forward to. You'll still be in a similar community, so you kind of know South Miami as it is. Are you kind of expanding and bringing in people, or is Branches more of a local, you said local feel. So is that closer to the Dade County area? How do you bring in different families to connect?
Yeah, great question. So we're Miami-Dade based, and we have 3 sites, one in North Miami, this one in South Miami, and then a third down in Florida City. So across those sites, we have 2 main programs, one that serves children and youth. So we serve almost 500 students every single day. They come to us after school. They do homework help with us. We serve them meals and snacks. They do enrichment activities, all that kind of stuff. And then on our other side of the programs, we do a whole host of financial wellness services. So we do everything from financial coaching to free tax preparation. And we also have a small business program. Yeah. So we're not just serving the kids, but we also have families that can come to us after and really receive a whole host of financial wellness services.
I feel like there's definitely, I see some future partnerships with universities, because I was always, every time I went to school, I wanted those classes that you can learn about your adulting and what that looked like for just a normal day-to-day. So I feel like that's super, very much needed.
Yes, absolutely.
And everything across, not even only Miami, I feel like nationwide, they should have classes like that. So then when you do those classes, what does a day-to-day look like for you? Do you help the families all together? Is it just the kids? Like, how do you go by the schedule of what a day in the life looks like at Branches?
Yeah, great question. So I would say every day is different, which is what makes it fun. But really, our students are coming to us after school. So our elementary school students get there around 2 p.m. And then our middle and high school students get there a little bit later, around 3 or 4. And they go through different rotations. So we'll have homework help first, then they'll have some outside time where they're doing recreation, sports, lots of fun stuff. And our high school students will then go through their own rotations of, we do a lot of college and career prep. So we have SAT prep classes. We do FAFSA, financial aid workshops, so that parents can come in with their students and make sure that they're filling out everything correct to get federal financial aid for college. Yeah. And the parents then can really make their own appointments with their financial coach on their own time. So we try to be really flexible so that parents can squeeze us in between work, but they learn to set a budget, really figure out what their goals are for their family, and then they have a real relationship with a coach who can kind of help them throughout that process in achieving their dreams.
Wow, that is amazing. Why didn't I have Branches when I was in school?
Yeah, it's great. We love it.
What kind of got you into, or is there a certain project that you've brought into Branches that you have just seen from the growth of this is the blueprint of it to now it's been flourished?
So that's a great question. I think one thing I'm really proud of is over the last year or two, we've started a really amazing event called our Career Speed Networking Night. And we have seen just such tremendous benefits for our students. And it's been fun to see that that event specifically grow over the years. But it's basically, instead of speed dating, we do speed networking for all our high school students. And we do it at the Capital One Cafe in Coral Gables. So we bring all our students in, and they have the chance to network with around 30 professionals. And they get 5 minutes with each professional. So they can practice their elevator speech, get to know people from all different career paths. And it's been amazing to see some of the questions they ask, how they get more and more confident with each networking event. So it's teaching them a lot of different skills, but also exposing them to so many different career paths that maybe they never thought of before.
That is so neat.
Yeah.
And I know every time I go into like college conversations, different things like that, a lot of people just don't know what a Chamber of Commerce is. But in college, I didn't even know you could join a Chamber of Commerce. So it's just, it goes back and you feel like you're giving back for real. So I love that Branches has the ability to create those programs for different families and students across.
Yeah, I'm thinking we would love to have you at one of our next career nights, because it's true. So many kids don't have any idea what a chamber does. And so I think that would be amazing.
I would love to join you. So I know you have another project coming in soon. It's your back to school event. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we are super, super excited. It's one of my favorite events of the year, but on August 7th at 6 p.m. at the University of Miami Newman Alumni Center, we have a fantastic event called our Back to School Bash that helps us create all these backpacks that we need to give every one of our students a new backpack full of supplies. So it's a happy hour for a cause. It's a great networking opportunity, but we have a live DJ and over 8 restaurant partners who bring appetizers and desserts and yummy drinks. And then after you get a chance to eat and drink and mingle, we all get together and form an assembly line to pack 500 backpacks that night full of supplies.
Wow, 500.
Yeah.
Is that the huge goal, or have you ever, or like what was the goal last year?
That's a great question. So we did over 400 last year, so we're doing 100 more. But it definitely adds up, because the cost of sending kids back to school these days with inflation and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely risen. So we're also so thankful to our sponsors. I have to give a shout out to some of our top sponsors, Aetna, Bean Automotive Group, Banesco, Boeing, Bradesco Bank, and the Templeton Family Foundation. They are just amazing, and we're super grateful for them.
I love that you get to work with the community while you're at it and still give back. And back to school, I think, has been the most popular. That has been like the theme for August. So that's fascinating that you're able to participate as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So anybody can attend. We do ask for a donation of $50 as your ticket, and that helps us cover all the cost of supplies. But people can come to the door that night, or you can buy tickets online at branchesfl.org.
Thank you for that. Now you covered my next question. So how does it look like in terms of the partnership with the Chamber? How did you kind of get involved, and how did you kind of hear about Chamber South as you were going through your experience at Branches?
Yeah, so the Chamber has been so supportive of Branches, which we're really grateful for. And we've been involved for quite a few years now. But really, I think just the Chamber's name throughout the community, everybody was saying you have to get involved. We have a great community of supporters at Branches, but they're always trying to help us figure out how do we get our name out there more? How do we make sure that people know what we're doing here in the community? So many different board members and people in the community really said you should get more involved with the Chamber. So we definitely started to get involved, go to meetings. The Chamber has been amazing with doing toy drives for us in the past and getting involved with, we do a big Thanksgiving meal delivery. So we've had a lot of volunteers come out from the Chamber, and then opportunities like this to be able to just get our name out there has been huge.
I love that. Everything comes full circle.
It does.
I feel like that has been my favorite phrase so far today.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you for coming. Is there anything else that maybe we didn't touch up on before I go to our fun questions to get to know Sarah?
Sure. I think I just have to give a huge shout out to the Miami community as a whole. We're so thankful. You know, Branches is a very grassroots organization, and we've been around for over 50 years now, but we wouldn't be here and wouldn't have survived 50 years and have another 50 years on horizon if it wasn't thanks to our great supporters. So Trish and Dan Bell, they've been just amazing supporters of ours, incredible people who have really encouraged us to dream big over the years. So we're so thankful for them. And then I also just want to thank our CEO, Brett McLaughlin. He's such a visionary leader, as well as our board chair, Rod Bell. So it takes a village, and we've got some really great champions. So just a huge thank you to all of them.
But you're also a champion, so thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. It takes a village. I say it all the time, and it sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. And I'm grateful for this village, for sure.
Well, I'm glad to have you on board, and now we'll get to see a little bit more of you, especially since you'll be moving in a little bit closer to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, let's get to know Sarah a little bit. So, do you prefer mountains or the beach?
Oh my gosh. I love the beach. I love the beach. I'm in Florida for a reason.
True. So then what's your favorite beach to go to?
I am a Key Biscayne girl, even despite the crazy traffic hazards that happened a couple of months ago. But
it's a relaxed area, I feel like, and there's a little bit, it feels more local when you're there.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, next question. Skittles or M&Ms?
Oh, I'm M&Ms. I love chocolate.
Yeah, same. So then a branch off. Do you see what I did there?
There you go.
Do you prefer regular M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms? I know there's so many different kinds. I can't memorize them all.
I think I'm a regular M&Ms person. I just love, that's what I get at the movies. I keep it simple. You can get it anywhere. Yeah.
Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee. I'm a coffee girl.
You're a cafecito girly.
Yes, exactly.
I think Miami's rubbing off more on you.
Yeah, you need it.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a dog.
Wow.
Yeah. So I adopted. I have to give a shout out to them because I love them too. I got them through a great rescue called Miami City Canine.
Okay.
And they actually, or Magic City Canine, sorry. But they actually take dogs from the shelters and bring them out to the Everglades Correctional Facility. So they have inmates there, train them for a couple months, and then they adopt them back out into the community. So our little boy spent some time in prison, but he came back out fully trained. So we were grateful.
But that is pretty cool, though. I've never heard of. Well, it kind of gives them a little bit more to do, and then. Wow. Okay. That's really smart.
Absolutely. No, so it's great. It's a companion for the inmates there.
Yeah.
They get to live full time with the dog, and
do
they're
they ever
training
get to keep them?
No. So that's the hard part. But they
I would get so attached.
Exactly. I said, oh my gosh, I feel like we're taking somebody's dog. But the trainer was so great when we met him. He said, no, what's great is that we know they're going to a great home, and then they get a new dog to train.
Yeah.
So they're also able to save more dogs from the shelters, which is great.
Wow. Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's a cool program.
Okay, last question. Do you prefer sweet, or are you a sweet or salty person?
I'm a salty person.
But you said chocolate.
I know. I do like chocolate, but I have to say, give me some chips or French fries, and I love it.
So it sounds like you're a trail mix kind of person.
Yes,
if you want
exactly.
your M&Ms.
A little bit of both. Exactly.
Well, I loved getting to know you, and I feel like I have some follow-up questions for after the show to make sure we get the sweet and salty down pat. But it was so good getting to know you, and thank you so much, everyone. We will be part of the next show as well, but we'll have Sarah's spotlight, and we'll see her on our social media. And just stay tuned with everything that Chamber South is going on. We have a few events coming up, and we're so excited to be a part of the community as a whole. Thank you so much for being here today.